Everybody loves a nice cool glass of water after a hot workout or during a workout or on a hot summer's day. But do you know how to drink water for yourself? If you're a fairly active individual, a general guideline when it comes to how much water to drink each day is somewhere around half an ounce per pound body weight. So if you weigh, say, 200 pounds, you'd probably be drinking somewhere around 100 ounces of water. Or you can say about an ounce of water per kilo if you're anywhere else in the world. Now, do keep in mind that's just a general rough estimate. Now, obviously that can change based on a bunch of different factors. So if you're exercising a little bit more or a little bit less, or you're not really exercising at all, it's gonna all change a little bit. But that's the general rule of thumb that you wanna kind of think about. Now, for hydrating while you're working out, so say if you're gonna be working out super vigorously or you're working really hard, you wanna take somewhere around your body weight divided by 30, and that should be about how much you should be drinking about every 15 to 20 minutes worth of activity. Now, that is a lot, and it's definitely a lot to think about, but this is gonna apply to like the extremes of the high end when you're thinking about hard exercise or very, very strenuous like mental activity. Now, there's a couple ways to kind of look at when you should be drinking water. So thirst or color of your pee. I know, a little TMI. Generally, thirsty is a good indication that you should probably drink a little bit. It's not always the best, keep that in mind. The other way is your urine. So the darker it is, probably means you need to drink a little bit more water. You should be shooting for somewhere around like a light yellow tint. If it's crystal clear, you're probably drinking a little too much. So why continue to drink water? One, our bodies largely are made up of water. Our cells, our muscles, our brain, everything. So even a little decrease in hydration, so anywhere from 1 to 4%, we've seen in studies and tests from athletes and just general population, huge decreases in athletic performance, cognitive capacity, accuracy. Pretty much everything can be affected in a negative way when it comes to being even just slightly dehydrated. And not only are there the physical manifestations of dehydration, but even our perception of dehydration actually makes an effect too. So we think things slower. We feel like things are going to be even more difficult when they're really not. And that's purely just because our body doesn't even have the capacity to work appropriately because of how important water is to us. Now let me just get ahead of it in case anyone goes, well, Ryan, there's water in fruit and vegetables and other stuff that I do. The drinks that I drink, that's not necessarily just water. Yes, that is correct, and that does add up and make an impact on your overall hydration, but you shouldn't be thinking, I got enough water in today because I ate a bunch of vegetables. That doesn't really make sense. And it doesn't really work that way either too. So we've covered just the liquid aspect of taking stuff in, specifically water. But if you've ever tasted sweat on accident, or maybe purposefully if that's your thing, you know that it's salty. And when we think salts, at least from the sporting world, I'm talking about sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Now, you can get a lot of this from food, so that you kind of have some of those bases covered. Fruits and vegetables are good with magnesium and potassium. Salt in your food to taste is always a good idea. But if you're not gonna be eating and you're gonna be doing something for quite a long time, then it doesn't hurt to supplement a little bit. I'm a big fan of brands like LMNT, Noon, Liquid IV are all three pretty decent ones. They're readily available and you can pretty much find them everywhere. If you're not a big fan of supplements, then coconut water is a decent alternative. It's pretty good. It's gonna get a little bit of everything that you need, plus some of the water aspect when we talk about just general hydration, get some of the salts as well. So either of those are all good methods to kind of replenish those salts in your system, so that way you can kind of continue to move and perform at your best. So quick recap when it comes to all of it. About a half ounce per pound of body weight should be your daily goal generally. If you're not quite sure when to drink, look at the color of your pee or are you thirsty. Don't forget that the salts are important, so you get a lot of it from food or you can supplement, and keep working out because working out's good for you. And that's it. Drink your waters. Drink your water. Oh, also alkaline water is a scam.